Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Bill Dugan.
And I'm Dave G.
And we're here to present some of the updates and sort of what's happening with the UWW Launchpad program. Some of you may be already familiar with our mission statement. We thought we'd put it up here, and for those of you who are not. And essentially what we are is an attempt to give young entrepreneurs who have high potential and good ideas the opportunity to try out their ideas in a practical context as opposed to just the classroom. This is a summary of some of our activities. You can see this carries over the same criteria for contact with the students that we used last time. And we regularly engage in teaching sessions. We support students in their participation in competitions. And we have attended those competitions, have a couple of national award winners, which we'll talk about in the next slide. We manage a number of independent study programs, meaning students actually get credit on an independent study basis for their activities in Launchpad for building their businesses. And we also would like to talk about benchmarking with some other programs. Here's a little synopsis of some of our achievements. Some of you may have been informed of this by University Media or University Media Relations, but one of our students, Henry Schwartz of Mobcraft, was featured on an episode of Shark Tank last Friday. But there are other folks that are maybe a little less visible on national primetime TV who also have some sort of terrific outcomes from alums as well as existing students. Ranker Esports, which is one of our graduates last spring, was featured in VentureBeat magazine, and that happened right after they launched their website. Another current Launchpad, or I guess another Launchpad alum, who is still a student at the university, did extremely well in national contest. He won a national elevator pitch contest at the CEO national meeting last fall, and he also placed third place in a major national contest in Chicago. And interestingly enough, one of the judges was one of the judges from Shark Tank. In addition to that, another student was accepted into two different national contests. One at St. Louis, the St. Louis University Real Elevator Pitch Competition. And he's on his way to another elevator pitch competition in Texas in a short time. We've got a number of applicants to the Warhawk Business Plan Contest. Some of you, thank you very much, are acting as judges. And so that's kind of a real thumbnail sketch, a kind of a bicycle tour of some of the highlights of what our students have been doing. Also, we want to talk about something that's very important both to Dave and I, and that's making sure that there is diversity not only in background of the students, but also in the different colleges in the university. And so diversity results for us are we have 4 women in the program since we last discussed, majors from media arts and game development and computer science, graphic design, and a music major. And so in addition to that, in addition to participation in contests, a number of our students are revenue positive. And these are the snaps from the websites of 4 different students that currently are making a living with their businesses. Candid Brilliance is in the upper left. Underneath that is Imagine Shoes. We have Hook in the lower right. That's the young man that won the National Elevator Pitch Contest. And then we have Chapter Companion, which was started by a young man who was a participant last fall. Now I'm going to turn you over to Dave for some summary of the program.
Great. Thanks, Dugan. One of the things that we started to do a year ago was to analyze the various sectors that our students are in. So we looked at B2C, we looked at B2C in terms of products, in terms of services, and then we looked at B2B in terms of products and services. So we have every company from Ranker Esports, like Dugan talked about, which is basically a portal for esports. If you're not familiar, that's competitive video gaming. We have Candid Brilliance Music, Jocelyn Kopak, who's doing great who matches up student musicians, amateur musicians to events and for people with lessons. Chapter Companion that Dugan talked about a few minutes ago provides software to help manage sororities and fraternities. We have infrastructure inspectors. They actually have a drone-based technology that has a mil thickness tester, so you can determine the thickness of paint on water towers. Glory Togas is actually launching soon. They've got a very fun product related to togas and then the crowdsourcing of badges. We've had a LumiCase that had an aluminum smartphone, or excuse me, an illuminating smartphone case, and intern betas, which matches up interns with small and growing businesses. So in terms of the process that we go through is, first of all, what happens is students prepare for their sessions. They have weekly assigned readings through various sources. Then we have group discussions with key learnings, and they talk about, they get guidance from us and also guidance from each other. And then the students will actually execute their next stages of startup development as well. We used a tool called DE, Discipline Entrepreneurship, and DE Toolbox at the end of last semester. We've actually found a new tool that we like called Launchpad Central. And with Launchpad Central, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the business model canvas. And basically with the business model canvas, you're mapping out graphically an entire business model, everything from customer segments to your revenue model, to your cost structure, and customer processes. And what it does is not only the tool helps the students create a one-time business model canvas, but we actually have the students create a new canvas each week. And this is driven by customer interviews that they conduct, and then they either prove or disprove hypotheses that they might have. So whether the customer actually has a specific pain point, whether the solution is actually going to solve that pain point, how the customer wants to learn about that product to help drive marketing, how much they want to pay for that product. So we've had really positive feedback from the students on the tool, and like most entrepreneurs, our students tend to be very competitive. So as you can see as a list down here on the left-hand side, the students actually get visibility to see how many interviews they've done and how many hypotheses that have actually been tested. In terms of the activities on a timeline, the significant events that we've had, we had CEO Nationals, which Dugan talked about, and our student was the top student out of roughly 200 applicants from across the nation. That was Sam from Hook TV Mounts. We're very proud of him. We began our spring cohort of students with Launchpad in January of this year. Sam also pitched at the Future Founders Forum, as Dugan alluded to, and Damon John from Shark Tank was one of the judges, and Sam took third place out of 60 there. And our biggest event regionally and locally is the Warhawk Business Plan Competition, and that'll be taking place on April 6th, 2016 in the Old Main Ballroom in the UC, and we really hope that you can join us for this event.
So if you want to contact us, here's some information for each one of us. Dave and I, of course, and then our colleague, Professor Elena Platt, who has been invaluable in terms of being a technical advisor on programming and information systems related issues. And we really look forward to interacting with you, and we may call on you in the future to ask you for some advice or assistance, or just to let you know what's going on. So on behalf of everyone at Launchpad, thanks.
And yep, thank you for your input. We look forward to connecting with you in the future.
Bye-bye now.